Two silly old gentlemen, only one good leg between both of us. Known him since he was 5, come down to fish with me. We've had quite a good lot.
Good morning and welcome back to the Amputee Angler. If I look tired, it's because I have been driving for 6.5 hours straight here and we're out on the boat. Here being Penryn Marina, we're down in Falmouth Way, Falmouth Estuary, and we're with a good friend of mine, a good long-term friend of mine, all right, Frank Shaw. Now, depending how you know Frank, or depending what you call Frank, I know him as a very good friend of mine. He looked after me from a very young age in terms of taught me a lot about life. I washed dishes in his cafe when he had it, for those that remember the Coral Cabin, and he used to own the charter boat Carrick Lee, and he taught me a hell of a lot about my local marks at Newhaven, and a lot of the stuff that I fish and that I do now is because of him. And so I've got a great respect for that. And he also signed my army papers and he cried a lot when I got blown up. So plan today is we are down here today and we're going to pop out in the estuary. I'm down for a couple of days potentially. Today we're going to be throwing some lures about and potentially trying to catch a gilthead bream. Now they've started to move off, so I'm not sure how that's going to go. It can be hit and miss down here apparently. I'm not a gilthead bream fisherman, I've never caught one, so I don't know, but we're going to have a crack today and that's ideally what I've come for, but we shall see how the day goes. Frank's got a lovely licensed, well, it'd be a licensed bass boat, but he doesn't really use it for that at the minute down here. But yeah, we're going to jump on there today and we're going to get going. So that's the plan, that's the location. I'll show you the rigs and the tactics as I'm going. Let's go. The area of ground we're fishing over, it's just a big hard bit of ground. Obviously I don't know any areas around here, so it's completely on Frank today. Where we go, what we catch, no pressure, Frank. Miss one. Keep going, keep working it. Yeah, so we're just basically, we haven't got much tide here. Me and Frank was having a discussion a minute ago. What we call a big tide up at Newhaven, you know, it's a 7 metre tide at Newhaven at the minute, 7.2 I think it is today. And I think we've got a 5 point something here, and we're not even moving. We've got 0.3 of a knot. We get more than that of slack water at Newhaven. So we're just having to work really hard with these lures here now. So I'm using my jigging rod. Frank, I think he's working a shad, I believe. But when that tide starts running, I think we're going to be okay. Is that a nice fish? Frank lost one. That's fine. You're not. I'm about to roll all over the place here. Don't push that top button for us, Frank, on that camera. This one here? Yeah, that one there, mate. Yeah, it's not big. Right. Yep. Little baby pollock. Good. Jig. There we go.
Absolutely.
First fish of the day.
Absolutely. No tide running, so as soon as the tide runs, we'll get going.
There we go. First fish of the day for me. Frank's had a little mackerel, but we've got a little baby pollock on the slow jig. And that is a HTO frolic, I believe, 80 grams. About 6 turns off the bottom. Only a baby, but it's a start and we are off the mark. Try and stand up is my problem. There you go.
You can all sit down.
It's foul looked mackerel. Nothing anyway, look. Herring. Whoa. There you go. That's what that shoulder is coming through now, look.
It's the pilchard.
Is it a pilchard? Yeah. Okay. There we go, foul looked. What we think is a pilchard. Frank, you want that?
Yes, please.
That's a better one.
You pointed at it.
Yeah, that'll do it. No, lift it up a little bit. It's okay though. It's a better fish, this one, guys. That's it, Frank. There we go. It's a better one. I'll just let that sink to the bottom. This might be a. Oh, it's a better one, Frankie. That's a better one. That's a net job, mate. I think.
Right,
I'm not going to risk that. That's a better one, guys.
You can tell how much fish I've been catching lately because
your net's not even out.
I couldn't find it.
But net just because it's the biggest one of the day. There we go. We'll take that all day long. Hang on, there you are. That was what I said. Down to the... There we go. It's no monster, but it is a pollock. The lens is probably soaking wet. There you go. Well, it was Storm GT. I think that's a 35 gram. Boom. Yeah, you're good, don't worry. Good fish, good fish. Good fish. Another one, guys, another one. What have we got here? It's a wrasse. It's a wrasse. That is a ballon. Nice colour. Powered away. Come in the hole. Oh, it's come off. No, it's there. No, it's there.
I think you did well to get it out, even though it was a bit by accident. You did well to get it out.
That wasn't by accident, that was pretty a small one, but I don't think that was what was on there, because that first one took off like a train. I don't think that was on there. That first one went well.
Yeah,
Another little pollock though, right below my feet.
it did look better.
That wasn't what was on there. That came out of there and that smashed it straight afterwards. Look at that. He's had that. That first one had that bent over there. Another little pollock, guys.
It is. It's quite a good one, but it is a wrasse. It's not a tremendously huge one, but
It's a wrasse. Nice colour. Go frag. There we go. Yeah, go on. Well, guys, we stuck a squid jig down. Frank said we're in squid territory, so I've stuck a single squid jig down. On that jig there, it's flapping about. Oh, it's a cuttle.
caught a cuttlefish.
Caught a cuttle.
Ooh. Do you want that?
But I gotta get it off. Go on, point it out. Yeah, go on. There we go. Yeah, get it in. There we go. Why are you leaving me to deal with that, skipper? You're the one with a smock. Yeah, I'll do it. I've got that. Don't be silly. Cuttlefish. I stuck a squid jig over just to kill a bit of time, and we've got ourselves a lovely little cuttle. There we go. Now cuttlefish use water to mix their ink, so unlike squid, where they will just have a set amount in their ink sacs. Once it's gone, it's gone. If you leave a cuttlefish out the water, it will just run out. It won't be able to make any more. The minute you give it any water, that's it, boom, it's got a whole fresh supply. So if you leave it in even a millimetre of water, this thing can make more ink. But we've left it over the side, we're all good, and he is going to be conger bait. Boom. That's all the rig was for that. I said we're just passing time now. We're waiting to go Gilthead Bream fishing, so we're waiting for a bit of tide. Just single dropper loop, little pink jig, and I've got a little 2 ounce, well 1.5 ounce lead at the bottom. So I'm not even fishing that on its own. I'm fishing a little lead on the bottom, and that was just worked in the tide. And I just saw the rod go over. Game on, cuttlefish. All about making the most of what you got when you got it. It's a bream of some description. Oh guys, so I didn't get a chance to do my chat, but we're in there back in the harbour now, and we are bait fishing. And I've just literally, this has been down a minute, and we've had a rattle. Frank reckons this is a coochie's, and I've got no idea because I've never caught one. So if it is, this will be a personal best. It's a bream or something. It's a black, isn't it? I think it might be a black or a baby gilt. It's a baby gilt. No, coochies. Coochies. It is a coochies. Well done. Thank you, mate. Cheers. All right. One of the targets, and that is a little baby coochies. It's my first one, so that's actually a personal best because I've never caught one. I know it's only small, but they have got a set of teeth on there, haven't they? Jesus. They have got a set of teeth. Yeah, lovely coochies bream. So you've seen the coochies before I even had a chance to do the spiel. So we've done our lure fishing, we've had a few fish, lost a few fish. That's been good. We've come in the harbour now. We can't get on the berth for a couple of hours. But Frank's plan was always we're going to do a couple of hours and we were going to try for gilts and the cooches. Off the bat, he's given me it's basically a free at paternoster, bit of lugworm and a ragworm on it, and I'm not kidding, within a minute of it being on the bottom, bang, I've had my first cooches. Absolutely brilliant. So Frank's put us bang on the money now, and we were worried that perhaps the gilts have gone and the cooches have gone, and apparently they roll together. And they do roll together. So the fact that we've had a cooches off the bat means there's probably still some gilt heads lying around.
Just missed that.
We think we might have missed one. So fingers crossed now, we've got a little window to try and snatch something special, and we're going to work hard to try and do it. Bait fishing now, lures away.
It's getting smaller.
Is it? Well, it's still a good bite.
It's a bit better cooches.
Is it? Do you want the net? Or you got?
Your lander will be pleased.
Another cooches.
And why can you be a gilt?
Yeah, we thought we had one there for a second, didn't we? Another
I did
cooches.
think it was a little gilt, yeah.
Yeah, never mind. That's what I would take that all day.
But they're really pretty, and
they're lovely fish. Absolutely lovely fish. Go on, Frank. Another cooches. Never have any before, and they come along like buses. So we're on 3 now for the boat. Lovely little fish. Right, guys, we've got a. I think we've got potentially. It's out there in the back. Look.
Take it away.
Some cooches in it. Middle one's going Frank. Middle rod.
I think it's a bass.
It's nice, pretty. No, it might be a bass. Bass. It's a bass. That's a bass. Bass.
Well done, Ben.
That's you, no. There's baby. Oh. Middle rod's going, middle rod's going, middle rod's going. Don't worry, you do that. Just put the camera down, I'll do that.
I think that has to be over the side.
Oh, yeah, let's put that down. I've got this out. Right, you deal with that. What do you
I see, it's good fishing, isn't it?
It's good fishing, isn't it? This is how it's all about.
2 silly old gentlemen, only one good leg between both of us. Known him since he was 5, come down to fish with me. We've had quite a good lot. We've had 6 or 8 good cooches. We've had...
Get away from the prop. What have you got there?
Cooches.
I think you'll find it probably on, for all I can see, 6
8 or 9 cooches.
6 in the bucket, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got a bass in the Penryn River. We're bream fishing, caught it by accident. So the bass is going to go back. Come on. Well, as you can tell, the weather has got absolutely horrible. It's that really fine rain, the one that soaks you through, as Peter Kay would say. But the cooches have really come on. We've got some lovely cooches now. Still waiting for that gilt, but we've got about 40 minutes before we can get back on the berth. So we're stuck anyway, but lucky enough we're stuck and we're catching fish. So lugworm, ragworm, that's all it is. Chucking it out. The bigger ones seem to be in a bit of tide, so I think the bigger ones are holding up in the tide. But we have to chuck one short to try and see if anything's lurking around in the eddy. But we shall see. We shall see. It's not a ray. Right. So anyway, it's a round fish, and it ain't. I would probably say it ain't a cooches. Doggy.
Doggy. First doggy I've ever seen here.
Another one. Cooches.
Ain't a bad one. 12 ounces.
Yeah. It's another cooches, guys, in the rainy weather. Rod slammed over. I'm only fishing light gear compared to what Frank's fishing.
I think there's only 2 or 3 harbours in the country where you can get them, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we've got another cooches. Lovely cooches. That's right. There we go. 8 cooches bream. That's what we've ended on. There's Frank. There he is. 8 cooches bream. A bass.
4 people to feed. 5 people to feed.
There
so
we go.
that's good.
So they're not going to go to waste. There's no size limit on cooches, so they're not going to go to waste. They're going to go for food. 8 cooches bream, 2 dogs, a bass, pollock, mackerel, pilchard, ballon wrasse, So I think we had eight or nine species, I think it was, but all in all, a really, really good day. So day one in Penryn Harbour, Penryn, isn't it, Frank? Penryn. Day one in Penryn, mixed bag, really, really good day's fishing, and I love my bream fishing. You know I love my bream fishing, and this now is opened up another world for me, so ideal. So we're gonna get the anchor up and we're gonna get home. Afternoon and welcome back to day 2 of my Falmouth trip. Same boat, same Frank, and we are on one of the many Foul River estuaries today, and we're chasing one of the other targets that was my aim to come down here for, and that's a Gilthead Bream. We didn't come up any earlier or later because we're here for a Pacific time window to try and catch these gilts. We were just driving up the river and someone was waving us down, soaking wet, out of breath, and I said we've got to help him, and turns out there's been a bit of an altercation between a couple of boats, so we're slightly short of where we was going to fish, but actually this is quite a good spot as well apparently. So, and while I was setting up and all that was going on and we was on the phone to the police, we had our first fish. Yeah, while that was all going on, we had our first fish, and I've dropped him. We've had a little tiny, which probably won't be the last we get up here, I expect. Little tiny school bass. They're going to be a bit of a plague, I expect, up here. There's a lot of bass nurseries up this way. I'm going to put him back. Back he goes. There's a lot of bass nurseries up here, but they do get some really big bass up here as well, so I'm told. So, going to be interesting, but we're camping out here now for a couple of hours, so what'll be will be. But Frank fancies it, which means I fancy it, and we are hopefully...
Like it.
Are you confident today?
Yeah, I do like it. They're starting to go now.
Let's show you, Frank.
They are starting to go now. People say they're stayed till November. It's getting, but we caught cooches yesterday and they're the same kind of thing. So I do think we've got a chance, and we are in a really good spot. So a good bass is possible, good bullhuss sometimes up here, but if there's going to be a gilt, and they're not that easy to catch and find, but if there is, this is a good spot. So I'd like to stick at this until we're losing light, and I'd stick at this all afternoon.
Well, there you go, you heard him. There you go, so that's the plan. He's the boss. I'm at his mercy down here. I haven't got a clue what's what down here. I know how to fish, but not fish this area, so that's the plan. Hopefully it comes good, so let's get back to it. Like I said, I think we're going to get a few of these. There's another one. Again, no monster, but it is bigger than the last one. I'll get baited up and go again. So I couldn't really show you Frank yesterday too much because it was wind and rain, and we were doing a different type of fishing. We were bombing around inshore, and it wasn't until the back end of the day that we sat down and went for the other target at the trip, which was cooches, and I had one within 30 seconds literally, and then we ended up with 8, I think it was, wasn't it? 8 cooches. But Frank, I've known Frank since I was knee high to a grass. I've known Frank since I've had knees. So he's known me a very long time, and he used to run a cafe which I used to work in, washing pots. He used to put ice on my black eyes, taught me to box, and sign my papers for the army, and used to fish a lot. A lot of my followers, and I know they know him because they mention him, a lot of my followers will recognise Frank from his Carrick Lee days. You had Carrick Lee 1 and 2? Yeah. So two charter boats. I think the last one was a Pro Charter P3, wasn't it? So we had a Pro Charter P3. I'll put a couple of pictures in here, but me and Frank have fished together an awful lot as well as other things outside of the fishing world. And Frank's moved down this neck of the woods. I think Frank's got a little scalded bite. Frank's got a bite as we speak. But Frank's moved down this neck of the woods, and he's got a little licensed bass boat. And are you going back chartering? Are you doing chartering?
Yeah, yeah. By popular demand, Ben, like Robin Howard is Brighton Inshore Fishing has been absolutely wonderful, and he sent me enough people like to pay for my boat X's, because you know it's quite hard to be a commercial fisherman at my age of 63. It's not easy, and it means I can keep a boat later and into my retirement and have something to do. And I do love the estuary system, blasting out to sea, deep sea fishing and tuna and that's not my cup of tea anymore. And it's difficult to get what I'm doing. I'm doing estuary fishing, inshore, reef fishing, squid, breams, bass, or fly fishing for bass. So those sort of things I will do. I only take 2 or maximum of 3 people, but 2 for most stuff. So it is going to be a more expensive day out, but then it's exclusive, it's intimate, you know, father and son, 2 best mates, you know, they can fish for quality fish. It's going to be for the sort of people that understand that catching a gilthead bream isn't just you book it and you're guaranteed it. You're not guaranteed it at all. No one can guarantee them. They are really boss things. They are very difficult and they are cool dudes. If you get one, you've done really well.
So there you go. So how can they find you? Well, you blog? You got a blog?
I've got a blog, which you did.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
I've got a blog and I've got a Facebook page. It's No Pasa Nada. And No Pasa Nada is like Spanish. They directly translate to nothing happens. And No Pasa Nada, and it's a blog. As I say, you can contact me through that. I take singles, 2s. That's a fish.
Yep. So that's not schooling.
I think Ben might have a gilt there.
That's not. I might be, I don't know.
What do I do now?
There.
What do I do now, Ben?
You're fine, they're okay. That's okay. You see, for a bigger bass, it feels a bit kiting along the top like a bass. It's gone right around there, look. Well, we were just talking to Frank there, and that was a good place to end.
You need to concentrate on that.
I'm concentrating, don't worry. Bass, it's a nice bass.
Right.
Not a gilt, it's a nice bass, guys. That's a nice bass. So Frank's just going to get the net. There you go. There we go.
That's a good one.
It's a nice bass, there you are.
£4, isn't it?
Thank you, Captain.
No worries. Well done, Ben.
Thank you. There we go. That was on camera, you saw that, there we go. And that was just on a chinu. Well hooked there. That won't ever get off on that hook. Right, the bass read the script. That's what we're talking about. River fishing, we're after gilts. I thought that might have been one. That's a lovely prime bass. He took a whole lugworm on a chinu. And we're in the nursery area here, so this one is going back. He's not going for tea, but that is a lovely fish. Boom. That's Frank. Like I said, I've known Frank a long time, right? He's a very good charter skipper. He taught me an awful lot of stuff you see on the channel now is what I've learned from him. And you know, he's very good at his game. When he's down there, he's not taking 10 people out at a time. He's not doing sharking, tuning, none of that. Personalised estuary trips and occasionally outside the harbour if it's worth it, and that's his call. But if that interests you, I'll link both his Facebook page and his blog all in the description, and you'll hear me talk about it a few times here and there, and I will definitely be back because I've had a great time already. But we're still early on into our session, so we're going to knuckle down, we're going to focus. But that's Frank Shaw. Let's get going. We've been at this now for quite a while now, but we are in the peak time. The tide has turned. Caught the last of the ebb, and that's when we had those bass. Started getting a few little rattly bites now, but I think it's just schoolies. And of course we had the Hawaii 5-0 incident with, when we had 5 or 6 coppers and a paramedic here at one point. And a guy's been arrested for firearms offences. But we're still waiting for a gilt, but we are trying. I mean, you know, we got back to 3 rods again. Yeah, back to 3 rods, but gilthead fishing is what it is apparently, as I understand it. And Frank was saying they fished a competition here. Was it April?
Yeah. Yeah,
fished a competition back in April. 170 people fished it, and there wasn't a gilthead caught. So perhaps they were a bit early, but you know, it's not easy. But we're going to try. So hopefully we can crack on and get one. But we've got about another. How long have we got left?
Hour, maybe an hour.
Hour and a half left, and then we've got a little steam back up the river at 8 knots. So we're going to keep trying and keep going. We don't give up until we have to. So working hard. Back on the berth now. That is the end of another Amputee Angler trip. 2 days here in Falmouth with Frank on No Pasa Nada, and I've had a brilliant time. The fishing was second today anyway. I come down to see Frank, and I've done that. We've had a good laugh. No matter, the fishing's been good, but it's been a great laugh, and I've really enjoyed myself. So loads of species over the last couple of days. Tried for the gilts today. It was always going to be a hero zero shoot, and it was a zero today. Spent a lot of hours there, but did have a couple of bass, and we had the crime scene investigation down doing all their work, so it wasn't without drama, but it's been really, really good. Now Frank is running, as I said earlier on in the video, he is running charters now with 2 or 3 individuals, specialist trips. He's not running many a year, but if you're coming down here tuna fishing and you get blown off, or you want to come down and want a bit more close-knit experience, then I highly recommend getting on with Frank. And I've known him years, and without taking that out of it, he's a brilliant charter skipper, and I guarantee you will have a laugh, if nothing else. So I'll put all the links in the descriptions. Thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and I will see you again shortly.